How often do you think about credit?
That's a good question.
The why, the how, the pitfalls, the benefits. I'm Troy Millings, and together with my partner Rashad Bilal, we have been financial educators under the Earn Your Leisure banner.
What's up, my man? What's up?
And in this series, we've partnered with Chase Freedom Rise to talk to the next generation about credit, confidence, and specific steps to building something real. This is Foundation Forward. Episode 2, How to Overcome Credit Denial.
So I started dancing when I was 2, but I never really planned to actually pursue it because I come from a family of teachers, very educated, very much pushing me to do more academic work. But I got to meet and learn from all these professional dancers, and that's when I flipped the switch. It just didn't make sense for me to stay in Florida. I'm Margaret Conti. I'm 19 years old. I'm studying dance. My goal is to be in one of the major modern companies here in New York. I'm excited to get to sit with Troy and Rashad because I feel like I just need someone I can trust to tell me how I build credit because I've been denied twice for credit cards.
It's gonna be an interesting one. We have a young lady who's been studying something very niche. And from a finance standpoint, this is somebody who's got rejected twice from credit. I'm interested to see how that's had an impact on her.
In New York City, if you make it here, you can make it anywhere. Be interested to hear.
How are you guys?
Can't
Great.
complain. Can't
Great.
complain.
That's good.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Excited.
for sure. So I know you're a dancer.
Yes, sir.
So what would be your dream as far as when you say I made it as a dancer?
I want to dance for the Martha Graham Company. Martha Graham was a visionary who created her own foundational modern technique called the Graham technique. And so that's what they dance for the most part. Very ethereal, very grounded and somehow also flowy. And I think I love that separation between the two and how you get to do both at the same time. That's all I want.
So you've had some issues with credit, right?
Yeah, so I've struggled to be approved for credit cards a couple times. Before I left for college, I applied for 2 cards and wasn't able to get them.
65% of Gen Z applicants have been denied for some form of credit, the highest among all generations.
Do you know why you were denied?
One of them didn't tell me a reason, and then the other one said that it was because I didn't have enough credit.
Credit history.
Credit history, but if I don't have a credit card, I can't build credit history. So I have a credit card through one of my parents.
So you're an authorized user?
Mm-hmm.
An authorized user is a person who is allowed to use another person's credit card account, the primary card member, otherwise known as the card owner.
Did you learn a lot about money in your household?
Not really. We didn't really talk about it. It was always something that we were taught not to talk about. This probably isn't great, but a lot of my information comes from social media or online campaigns and ads. So I guess I don't really have a trusted source that I take everything from.
Misinformation runs wild, especially on social media. It's kind of how we started our career, really. He was a financial advisor, I was a teacher, so we started teaching about financial literacy. Started out with young teens, and then it led to creating a show that educated a lot of people because of that factor.
It's finding options out there that you can trust. It's so important.
56% of Gen Z report they intentionally seek out financial advice through social media.
So I want to talk about the finances, because that's something that obviously could be kind of challenging. How have you been able to balance finances living in New York City?
Yeah, so it's definitely difficult. At my school, we dance from 8 to 8. So working during the week isn't really an option. You're not always gonna have stable work, and you have to recognize that. Definitely scary.
Do you feel that you may have to make some career decisions if you're not making enough money dancing, or are you fully committed?
I want to give it at least 5 years. I am a double major, so I do have another degree that I have if something goes wrong.
What's your other degree in?
History. So not a ton of jobs with that, but it is something more than dance. I want to give it at least 5 years and give it everything I can. And so that's as many odd jobs as possible. If that means however many roommates I need, wherever I have to live. I am trying to build up credit because I want to be able to have an apartment and get approved for larger purchases. So that's definitely something that I'm worried about because once I graduate, I'm gonna need somewhere to live.
When you applied for it and you were denied, What was that feeling like?
I felt like I didn't really know what other options there were for me to do at that point.
We believe confidence is the best way to combat credit denial. So we set off to LA to meet up with a guy who has confidence in spades. Bixby is a singer, songwriter, producer who has developed a loyal and growing fan base without a record deal or the support of a traditional label.
I mean, the first time I ever tried to apply for a credit card, I got denied because I had absolutely no history. But I feel like just like being an artist, doing anything sort of art related, I feel like it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
We caught up with him in the studio to discuss credit and being a creative.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Yeah, nah, you blowing up, man. Taking over the world.
That's the plan.
Okay, so let's talk about financial anxiety.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any level of financial anxiety growing up?
Oh, for sure. I mean, coming from a not so wealthy family, you know, like there's always been some sort of financial anxiety. I've always been aware of like, you know, you need to have a job and you need to have like steady income. So yeah.
So at what point did you realize like, okay, I got my stride in this situation?
So like, are your peers realizing that you have this talent? Does your family know you have this talent? Or is this like, I'm closing the door, I'm in the lab and nobody knows what's going on?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't talent in the first place. It was really bad in the beginning. I kept it a secret mainly from my family for a little bit, and then, you know, you can't really hide it. I'm screaming in my room at 2 in the morning trying to make music. With peers, it was like, you know, a little bit of bullying, you know. I mean, eventually then they were like, yo, he's kind of tough. People usually have this thing where they like are embarrassed by what they do because they know like bad or whatever, but like I had this full-on confidence that I was like, I'm gonna make it, I'm next up. 3 years in, I had my first song reach 100K plays, which was like huge for me at the time.
On SoundCloud?
Yeah, on SoundCloud. Quit my boba job the next day.
No more boba.
Yeah, no more boba.
There's a mental side of this as well, right? Obviously, if you have to create, there's a pressure to create. This is your livelihood.
Yeah.
How are you handling that at such a young age?
Oh, it's hard. Just the people around me that are also going through the same things that I am, like just keeping that kind of company really helps. Do you guys want to hear some new stuff?
Yeah,
let's
sure.
hear it, man.
Exclusive.
I started out with just a laptop and a USB microphone. There was a good 3 years where I was just making really bad music, and I didn't think I was. I thought I was awesome. I got denied my first couple of credit cards. You know, I was living with my parents. I had no credit history whatsoever, but as time goes on, you realize more of these things, and like you realize, oh, like I can actually get better at something. Yeah, now I'm living my dream, making music and making money off of it, and there's still so much more left to do. We're on the same journey together, and we're gonna get to wherever we need to be as long as we keep going.
Bixby's confidence kept him resilient and is fueling his success. And to help Margaret gain the kind of confidence she has in her dancing with her finances, it's clear all she really needs is some trustworthy guidance. All right, let's get into it. Do you know the ABCs of how credit actually works?
No.
All right, this is important, right? So it breaks down to a 100% circle, right? The biggest percentage inside of how to improve your credit is making sure that you have a great payment history. So 35% of your score comes to that, right? So it's important to know your due date. In fact, it's also important to know the reporting date of the financial firm or the institution that is loaning you the credit. You always want to pay before then because, again, it shows you how trustworthy you are, that you're able to pay off that debt before they're even asking for it. The next one is the utilization. Utilization rate means how much of the card you're using. Typically, they'll tell you to make sure that it stays about 30%. We love to tell people, make it 10%. That way you're overperforming at that level so that you're more creditworthy, you're more trustworthy.
So like keeping the lower rate, that like makes people more willing to approve you because they think you'll pay.
Exactly. The next one is the length of your credit, right? So this is about another 15% of your credit score. This is why having an authorized user card helps. Now that you're an authorized user, you get to have the freedom of having the report of their credit now affecting you. Now you have 2 credit cards with 30 years, they're gonna divide it. Now your credit length is 15 years. This is how it works. That's why having an authorized card is so important, but you gotta use it. Next one is the mixture of credit, right? Like how many different places feel that I'm trustworthy to get credit. Yeah, to that point, one simple way to improve your chances of getting approved for a first-time credit card, like Chase's starter card, is to have a Chase checking account open when you apply. That is the ABCs. If you can stick to that format, number one, your credit's gonna improve, but you're also gonna create a credit history for yourself.
So those 2 cards that I was denied, do those count against me as derogatory marks?
Probably has, only because you were denied, but finding out why you were denied would be the first step.
Okay.
And now you're on the path of building new credit,
Building it
right?
back.
So that authorized user card is super important. Figure out a system of how much we're going to use, keep that utilization low, so you can start building your own, and then in maybe 6 to 8 months, try again and apply.
Again. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the way that they laid it out, like so simply, and because it's trustworthy, makes it almost easier to understand than like information from social media or anywhere else I would get it. I feel like that information just confuses me even more. Having these are your 4, your 5 steps that you need to do, and this is how important they are, what % they count towards your credit score. This just gives you like clear guidance on what to focus on. It's nice to like have a plan and just be confident in like working towards credit scores.
Margaret, man, talk about dreamers.
I believe in her. You know, coming from Florida to New York City is not easy as a teenager. You know, being rejected from having credit, that's something that, you know, is not usual. You know, now as an authorized user, she can take the stairs as opposed to just having the elevator.
Yeah, she's extremely courageous. She has the determination to say, I'm gonna make dance work, which you gotta give her a lot of credit for.
There you have it. You know, I don't dance, but we can two-step our way out of here.